In this exclusive interview, we sit down with Prince Manvendra Singh Gohil and his husband Duke DeAndre Richardson. Prince Manvendra, hailing from the royal family of Rajpipla in Gujarat, India, made headlines as the first openly gay royal in the world. His courageous decision to come out not only broke centuries-old traditions, but also sparked a global conversation about LGBTQ rights. In our discussion, we explore the prince's harrowing journey through conversion therapy and their shared commitment to activism. We also delve into their upcoming memoir, A Royal Commitment: 10 Years of Marriage and Activism. How was your process of accepting yourself and go against a culture that it's very known for being like very conservative in that aspect?
It took me almost, you can say, 30 plus years to even get an identity for myself, and that's the reason I also got married to a woman. I was, I think, around 26 years old. I got divorced from my ex-wife. That I started my journey of discovering my sexual identity. And I think a lot is to do with, because in royal families in India, there is not much of communication within the family members, like within parents and children. I was raised by a nanny who was uneducated. So there was nobody to talk to, nobody to share my experiences, my feelings. Basic sex education is missing in our education system. So no one talks about sexuality, gender. These issues are not talked about. In India, we have done a study, a survey has been done. Almost 80% of gay men are married to women. And most of them are forced by their parents to get married. They are forced, emotionally blackmailed by parents. There are a lot of us who even come out to our parents and they said, no, marriage will solve your problem. Even lesbians are the worst hit. We are, at least, gay men can at least move out of the home and try and find some place. But lesbians, they don't have any security, no protection. Nobody supports them.
It sounds like conversion therapy, and you have experience going through these conversion efforts. Can you share a little bit about that?
In our royal families, I may be the first one to come out, but there are many others who are gay and royal and in their closet. And so my parents said they thought it was a mental disorder. They said, no, we need to treat him. So they tried to take me to mental health practitioners, doctors, psychiatrists. Fortunately, a lot of doctors and medical practitioners in Mumbai, they were sensitized. They took me to doctors, they refused. They said, we cannot do anything to treat your son because he is not ill, he's not mentally ill. And then they decided, if medical conversion is not helping, let's try religious conversion. So they started taking me to religious leaders. So I fully cooperated with them. I said, I want to fully satisfy them. So 3 years of mine, they kind of wasted my time and energy and everything. One guy said, you write the name of God in your notebook every day before you go to sleep. I must have filled up some 4 or 5 notebooks writing the name of the God. Then one guy said, you should drink well water. So I said, okay, I'll drink the well water. If that will help me become straight. Another one said, become vegetarian. I became vegetarian. Another one said, light a lamp in the evening. So I said, okay, I'll do that. So I did, fully cooperated and did all those things what the saints and sages told me to do. And at the end of the 3 years, instead of becoming straight, I became even more gay. So then they started emotionally blackmailing me, trying to throw me out of the businesses and various things where I was involved with the family. And then I came to a conclusion. I said, this is the height of harassment, by parents. I said, enough is enough. And then I just one day made this declaration in the newspaper.
After you publicly came out, what kind of challenges have you faced?
There's a huge mob mentality. In India, we have this mob mentality. A lot of people collect. Almost there were 3,000 people on the streets. They burnt my effigies in the fire and shouted slogans that he should be excommunicated and he should be stripped of his title. They publicly disowned me from the royal family and disinherited me from the ancestral property. So everyone was against me and I was getting death threats coming. But I did not budge. I said, my fight is based on my truth and my honesty, and I will continue fighting. If the whole world goes against me, I don't care. I'm going to fight for myself, and I'm going to fight for my right. And I went on, in spite of the fact that people went against me.
That's very inspiring because someone who has everything to lose was so brave to put yourself out there and fight all of this prejudice, not only in India, but like worldwide. How do you guys find each other? And how does 10 years of marriage and activism start?
I was working as a celebrity makeup artist in Seattle, Washington. I was looking for new wardrobes. I love traditional men's costumes. So I saw his profile on. In those days, there was MySpace, and we started emailing back and forth. We just became friends. And we have this wisdom of love that we've always used to guide ourselves, but it's not a Hallmark movie or a Disney ending. It's not a commercialized idealism. I would hope that someone would get out of our memoir, because of course 10 years is a long time. So each chapter is a year of our life, and a lot happens in a year. So, what guides that? What keeps people together? When you have different backgrounds, when you have different responsibilities, there's a lot of history that has to be preserved. There's a lot of duties that come along with that. It does come with a lot of privileges, I would say, probably too. And me not coming from that background, being married into it, and then being titled, there's no handbooks that can prepare a person for moving into these roles. And, just kind of give a peek of that truth. I think that it will give a real look into how our lives are, the things that we've done, things that we've survived. We try to make it knowledgeable about places that we've been, our advocacy, of gay rights, marriage rights, equality rights.
A lot of times people, they label me as a LGBT rights activist, but actually I'm doing work much beyond the LGBT community, women empowerment, domestic violence against women. We are working for tribal rights. We have got our district where the kingdom is that's 98% tribal. So we have these indigenous tribes there who have been living there for many, many years, and the royal family have always worked very closely with the tribal community. We work for animals as well, environment.
You come from very different backgrounds. You had to face different challenges growing up, of course. Do you think that plays a role on your activism?
We have different capabilities that we bring to the table that makes it work really well for us. No, I think what makes our relationship work too is that I am from a different background, that I'm not Indian. From a practical point of view, having different cultures has been kind of a blessing for us because one doesn't try to interfere with the other. If I was an Indian, if I came from another devotional background, then there would probably be a lot more clashes of ego,
conflicts, yeah.
So we got to cut out a whole bunch of unnecessary drama, or what they would say in India, masala. I get to share my husband with the rest of the world. I get to watch him change so many people's lives just by showing up. It makes me feel nice to be able to be that behind the scenes support. He knows that I support him on all the things that he's doing, right? And the work that he does changes people's lives.
I think you guys are proving that with love and acceptance, you can change a lot of aspects of society. You being part of the aristocracy and showing the world all of this tradition can change. As a couple, you are helping a lot of causes. One of them will be the conversion efforts. How are you fighting these conversion efforts in the Indian society?
So we are working a lot with parents because we realize that parents are forcing their children into marriage and trying to convert them and trying to treat them and those kind of things. And there are two ways in which we are dealing the situation. One is educating the mental health practitioners as well. So now, fortunately, the Indian Psychiatric Association also said that homosexuality is not a mental disorder. So at least now the association is clear about it. Secondly, we had a very good judgment very recently in one of our high courts in South India in the Madras High Court, where the judge of that court was listening to a lesbian couple who had filed a petition seeking security from their parents who were trying to force them to get married and also force them to convert and all those things. So the judge of the High Court said that all the medical practitioners and psychiatrists and everyone should go through sensitization through the LGBT community to see that they do not resort to conversion. That particular state has banned conversion therapy. In fact, they also released a notification informing various establishments and institutions that conversion therapy should not be used. And also the judge, made a very progressive judgment, and he said that all educational institutions should include the issues of LGBTQI in their textbooks. The Supreme Court has come up with a judgment, and where they have said that no child can be put into, through counseling or through this kind of, these therapies and all that, put into any change of their sexual orientation. Conversion therapy is has been pronounced as illegal in this country. Even very recently, when we were hearing the same-sex marriage equality, though we did not petition for conversion therapy, but one of the judges, or the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Mr. Chandrachud, who was also the judge for the petition which was decriminalizing homosexuality, he on his own pointed out that conversion therapy should be banned in India.
I wouldn't really say India is a conservative country. It's a devotional country to their practices in which that they believe in. In that devotionalness that someone has, there's room in their lives for acceptance.
When is the book coming out? We know that it's available right now for pre-order. And what else can we find on the book that you haven't mentioned today?
I think what we have mentioned in the book is something to trigger the minds of the readers, because we have done it in a way in which we have put in the essence, like, the wisdom of love, which is the essence of the book, and in a way in which it captures the 10 years of our lives, the adventures, the challenges, the ups and downs, and everything which comes to souls, as I call it, coming together and living their lives together.
So book will be released between August and October. So the collector's edition will only be available through our own site at h1927llc.com. Once the book is released, then people will be able to get it in like a black and white paperback through all those other accessibilities, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon. But the collector's edition, you'll only be able to get through our site, which has like really cool special things in it. It's in color. There's photographs inside of it. You get a nice bookmark. We own a private fashion label. We're known for scarves. We do fashion for a cause. So you get one of our scarves, an autographed copy. It will be stamped with our royal seal.
I'm truly inspired by the stories shared by Prince Manvendra Singh Gohil and Duke DeAndre Richardson. Thank you for joining us, and may their journey continue to inspire positive change.
Help us fight ex-gay lies. Truth Wins Out monitors, researches, and exposes the ex-gay conversion industry. Support us and learn more at truthwinsout.org.